where you speak from the heart. This would count.
That's the right one.
I've got a heart, it's still beating very rapidly. I'm Sue Kerr, I'm from the UK. I'm completely jet lagged. I've not been to bed since 2 o'clock yesterday morning. And now I've got to try and remember a speech that I spoke 12 months ago, which is a bit of a chore. I think what you mean is I was talking about my own story, and the session that I've just been in and why I was so engrossed with the speakers that were there was because there were many synergies between myself and the three ladies. And I firmly believe there's no such thing as coincidence, which is why I was still talking to them when this lady popped along and called me to do this. Boom! My story, if you like, is one of lunacy, one of immense stupidity. But it's one that's of a history that's littered with broken promises to myself, but it's also one that is one of survival and renewed hope and promise of a brighter future, because I woke up and smelled the coffee and not the Chardonnay.
Wow, I love that.
That's not bad for Adam, is it? A very long story short, if I say to anybody these days, if I make a mistake, please forgive me, because I don't turn 7 until September. 26th of September 2012, I was admitted to hospital 24 hours away from dying, with end-stage liver failure and kidney disease. I now have a cirrhotic liver, but I fully intend to be the only person in the world with a fully cirrhotic liver, stage 3 kidney disease, and goodness knows what else I've done to this beautiful body of mine. I'm going to live to be 150. Why? Because I've decided that I want to, and that I can. My business came about because I started to talk about my story. My it was my mental health as a child. I grew up as a child with mental health issues, which I blamed and laid very firmly at the door of my mother, who was quite abusive, but at a time when I should, could, and ought to have grown up and taken responsibility for my own life, I didn't. So as an angry teen, I hated her, you know, and then I started to drink, and I drank a little bit more than I should have done, but I drank because I got mental health problems, and that they were her fault, so therefore I could have another drink, because it's all her fault anyway, so I'm not 30. Fast forward to 52, and I'm nearly dead. I'm the same colour as that lady's beautiful dress. Doesn't look good on me. Yellow is definitely not my colour. And I was 7.5 stone heavier than I am today, taking 44 different pills and potions every single day, which in and of themselves were toxic. I was admitted to hospital. I woke up 5 days later. I have no memory of it. My husband says I was never unconscious, but I have no physical memory of it, and I was just shocked, because everybody knew I was a drunk. They all did. The only person that didn't was me, except I didn't really. So these days I have a business called Fearless Live More, because I decided to do just that, and not fear more and live a whole lot less. And these days I teach people how to reframe the way they see themselves, their attitudes, their situations, their lives. And anybody that works with me, I say I promise not to bend your ear, but I equally as much promise to kick your ass if you lie to yourself, let alone me. Because the stories we tell ourselves, ladies and gents, gets us into trouble massively. And to be fair, I enjoyed quite a lot of my drinking career, until it got too much. I don't remember an awful lot about it. But I am a very grateful woman. I'm very fortunate. I come to places like this. This is my 3rd year here. I wasn't intending to tell this story this year, so namaste, thank you very much. And clearly there's a reason for that. I've just launched a program called Fearless. I'm extremely jet lagged, as I said. I've been up since 2 yesterday morning, so all my literature's in my room, and I wasn't speaking anyway, so there we go. But yeah, if you want to party tonight, 108, go. But just, you know, bring water. No, please bring as much as you want to drink. I just don't drink. These days I get home later than I ever did because I'm the designated driver. But essentially, the story I told myself, ladies, got me into a massive amount of trouble, to the point that it nearly cost me my life. I will spend the rest of my life where I live to be 50 or 60, which I'm turning next year. It's my birthday on Sunday. Wow. It's here. I'm celebrating it here in India. And I'm 59, so next year I can actually say I'm 60 next year. But in actual fact, for anybody that wants to know, I'm not. I'm 7 on the 26th of September. There we go.
Please, let's hear it first too.
This was completely impromptu, and I do apologise for
Thank
anybody
you.
that was
No.
Thank
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next session is going to start. So I would like to request you, all speakers have joined us and
The real speakers.
have a seat.
Oh, the speakers are supposed to join.
Background in health.
Excuse me.
You're the third speaker. We don't have the fourth speaker here? No. Okay. So,
Please come on, guys, one by one.
yeah. Shabana Khan? Yeah. So, just
Thank you.
So can someone else come while they are just taking the presentation?
okay. Sherry, complete Gina, what's your name? Jean, please. Let's hear it for the
Yeah, no.
Shabana,
That's good that you made the rules. Okay. So, good afternoon. My name's Deanne Firth, and I'm an auditor from Australia. And I'm also Vice President of B1G1, Business for Good, which is a not-profit organisation that provides businesses around the world with opportunities to help in projects that are in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, today's topic here is about doing good is good for business. And generosity really transforms the whole essence of your company. It shifts the spirit of the whole organisation, and there really isn't a more cost-effective way of building a good corporate culture or a brand than becoming a business for good. Being generous also increases your happiness and the happiness of those around you. And a study by the University of Zurich actually showed that your brain function increases, there's more connectivity and communication, and you are happier. Also, people who volunteer live longer. Another advantage of a business being generous is in attracting and retaining staff. Millennials especially are more interested in what a company contributes to building a better future and solving global world problems. Being generous improves staff retention rates, and I'm not talking about staff wages in the generosity. I'm talking about contributing, being at donating time, donating money, or donating things. And in fact, when they did research on millennial workers, they showed that when they get a new job, the most popular top priority for millennials was being in a role that you're passionate about at 44%, whereas only 42% said that money was the top priority. So passion trumps money. The millennials surveyed and interviewed rated passion as the top priority because purpose is really important to this generation, more important than the previous two. For boomers, it was about being good providers. In millennials, they want to make an impact. So what I want you to understand though is that you can actually make money and make an impact. In fact, you can actually make more money by making an impact. So Nielsen, one of the world's leading market research companies, did a study on the sustainability landscape, and they showed that 73% of consumers said they would change their consumption habits to reduce their impact on the environment, and almost half of global respondents said they're inclined to pay higher than average prices for products with high quality safety standards, made from sustainable materials, or deliver socially responsible claims. And they're willing to forego a brand name in order to buy environmentally friendly products. Another study said they quantified this amount, and it said that consumers are prepared to pay 15 to 20% more because their business was doing good. And in fact, brands that had some kind of sustainability connection grow faster than brands that don't. And, and they said that 81% are more likely to get referrals from their customers, and 88% of the customers are more loyal. So in society, they're demanding that companies, both public and private, must serve a social purpose. And in fact, even the investment companies are getting in on this. Like BlackRock have actually come out publicly and said that they will only work with companies that have a social purpose. The CEO said, to prosper over time, every company must not only deliver financial performance, but also show how it makes a positive contribution to society. Companies must benefit all of their stakeholders, including shareholders, employees, customers, and the communities in which they operate. So I want you to consider this. We've got two coffee shops side by side. Both of them sell coffee. Now, I don't drink coffee, but for those that do, yes, the baristas are the same, and yes, the coffee beans are the same. So they're identical, right? Because normally the first thing people say when I say the example, well, it depends on the coffee. No. So the only difference between these two coffee shops is the one on the left has printed on its cups, for every cup of coffee, we provide 1 day's free water to a child in Cambodia. And in fact, it's not just on their cups. There's a sign in the shop and it's got a child pumping at the well that they've provided. It's on the t-shirts that the staff are wearing, and it's embedded in their culture. When you walk into that coffee shop, are you more engaged? Are the staff more engaged? And does drinking that coffee make you feel good? Okay, so what coffee shop would you choose to buy from? The one on the left or the one on the right? Now, what about if the coffee was 10 cents more expensive in the shop on the left? Would you still go there? And why? Because they do good. So now, providing water for a child in Cambodia for a day actually only costs 1 cent. But you're prepared to pay 10 cents more to go to that coffee shop. So in fact, you can make more money doing good than you can without doing good. So it doesn't have to be an either or. Plus, their customers are more loyal. They're going to be telling their friends. Nowadays, most people take recommendations from Facebook when they make purchasing decisions, or Instagram for the younger generation. So you've got, plus it's free, and they actually said that Facebook recommendations from friends are more important than Google Ads. Plus, they're free. So people don't donate to charities like they used to. I know when I was a kid in Australia, you'd go to everyone's house and they had the photo of on the wall of the orphan, on the fridge, or orphans from Africa, and they used to just send their check every year, year in, year out, to the same charity. People don't want that anymore. They want engagement. And that's why these companies like the microloans companies, where people go through, scroll pictures and pick where the money's going, are so popular, because people want to be engaged with what they do. And people nowadays do make purchasing decisions based on the ethics of a company and based on also what they're passionate about. And the best illustration for this is actually the converse. And that is, you would have heard in the media about the Sultan of Brunei this week, and how from the 2nd of April they've got Sharia law in Brunei now. And that means that there's punishment of death by stoning for adultery and for homosexuality, plus you lose your hand if you steal. Now, you would have seen all the outcry in the newspaper from the celebrities saying boycott their hotels in Paris, London and New York. So why boycott? Because people around the world, they care about the ethics of business nowadays, and they don't want to support something that they don't believe in or agree with. So see, if the outcry is about a boycott, the same applies if you're doing good in your business, but the opposite, in that people will be drawn to your business as opposed to the opposite when they go away. And they want to support businesses that give a positive impact to the world. So I did talk this morning a bit about the UN have set those 17 goals to achieve between 2030, and there's a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and enjoy peace and prosperity. The key is in the last 20 years, poverty's actually halved, like halved. And we can actually, we've got 11 years till 2030, we can actually eradicate poverty if all of the businesses work together for good. And I don't know how many of you heard me speak this morning, but what I do in my business is, you know, when we finish a job at work, we send a thank you to the client with the invoice, and it says, you know, because of the work that we've done for you, we've donated in your name half a day's financial literacy training to a woman in Malawi. And also when I give out or sell copies of the book that I was involved with, Better Business, Better World, Better Life, you've actually got a little card in there that says a week's food to a child in the Philippines. You can actually tailor, and that's the key, you can tailor what you do and what you give to the market that you're working with. And it helps people build a connection with your business. And if you can build a connection, people will come back and they will remain loyal. So if you put good at the heart of your business strategy and make giving joyful, it really will change your business, change the world as well, and businesses that do good do better. Thank you.
Sorry, I come from more academic background, so I thought if in case slides is required, so I made a brief class. Okay, so thank you. Yeah. So, a very good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. And today's topic is generosity is good for business. So I thought how I can bring it in my act. So I bring some flowers for you. I hope all of you have got one. And yeah, so why I'm here is, and particularly in this session, not to share a lot of knowledge, but basically to share my experience. I came into business by default. That was not an intentional act, but suddenly I thought, I want to pursue something what I am passionate about, which is research, and I want to support other people to do research. That's how I started Indian Research Academy 3 years ago. And one thing which has really helped me to sustain that business is the generosity. So I thought this is the best thing to share, and that's why I'm here. So today I'm going to basically touch 3 topics. What is the concept of generosity? How does it impact? And case study is my own business. Yeah. So most of us have some notion of generosity. So let's hear, what do you think? What is generosity? One word or two? Yeah?
Giving with an open heart.
Yes. Anyone else? Caring. Yeah. Loving. Sharing. Yeah, that's all what we relate to generosity. And definitely there is something more to it. So of course, it's a dictionary defines it as a quality of being kind or sharing. That's what you said. So yeah, it's a part of personality, but it's also a part of mindset, which helps you to think that you have enough so that you can share, right? Also, generosity is something which is contagious. So when you share with someone, that person feels happy, and then that happiness spreads. So I hope when you receive a flower, you felt happy.
Yeah.
That's what is the intention. And it's also multi-dimensional. So when I give to you, you provide happiness to me, but at the same time, you also, when you meet the next person, you feel happiness. So it's not just you to me, me to you and you to me, but it's also others to others. And then it travels, and then it has multiple impact at different levels. So it impacts way too beyond what we can conceive and perceive. So something which works beyond our perception. And as a woman, one thing I really wanted to do for this exercise is, like, we are very stingy in acknowledging us. So we are generous to the world and families, but we are very less generous to ourselves. So first of all, I would like all of you to acknowledge yourself for being here, for all the hard work that you have done, and for all the efforts, and acknowledge yourself just like you are your biggest fan. So let's have a big round of applause. Thank you. And I would also like you to acknowledge the person sitting next to you just like you are their biggest fan. Yes. Yeah. So how does it feel?
Oh, it feels so nice. Suchitra kissed me for the first time.
Awesome. So I'm also very happy. So that's how generosity impacts. So it makes you feel happy, but it also makes you feel healthy. When you are happier, of course, your body is functioning very well, and then you can do more work, basically. And then it promotes social connection. Even though we are meeting first time, we can still, be more bonded when we are sharing happiness together. And it also evokes gratitude. And gratitude is something, that is linked to everywhere, and it impacts everywhere. I think I'm forgetting how to create that further. So generosity leads to goodwill also. It creates goodwill, it builds trust. It definitely, when you are expressing generosity, even to your clients, you are adding more value to them, you are adding more value to your business. So that leads to satisfaction in turn, and that promotes good health definitely, and it also brings a greater purpose to life. So even though you are working for your own business, it is not just limited about you and your business. You suddenly you think more about other people, and then it has your purpose rises a little bit more. So research findings, as Dean has already shared, quite a few research has been done which shows that generosity definitely promotes good health. So now let's come to how does it impacts us. So as I mentioned, I started Indian Research Academy 3 years ago, and I was teaching before that at the university level. And what I noticed, like, the research is, we are really not doing research in the sense that it should be done, because my idea is it should impact the ground level, it should have some impact on the community. So most of the research in India is done by NGOs rather than the university in terms of impact assessment. So that's when I started. I had no idea how would it go. I did not have even money, only the possibility that I want to do that. And I stood by that, and I had I got an office in a big campus, and of course it was beyond my paying capacity, but I had belief in my possibility. And that's when I started. And yeah, and after a few months, then how it would go. So my emotional wavelength was like going up and down, very high and very low. So I always knew, and I had previous experience also, when you give it to someone, suddenly you become more balanced. That's what I learned also in PhD, because when I did my PhD from New Zealand, and when I went there, there was no one. So suddenly there I noticed my emotional up and down were very high. So I started donating towards a child education. And suddenly I noticed I got emotionally settled and felt being more responsible. So the moment you are responsible, you are okay to deal with even the difficult situation. So same with Indian Research Academy. When I started it and I saw like I'm going really up and down, so I thought what to do. So I thought, let me do my work best and support as many people I can. So I had a friend who wanted to be a trainer, and then I had another friend who started a business of business owners, and he was struggling with getting people together. So what I did is I said, okay, I have got the space, And I have a struggle to meet business owners and create the opportunity for research for them. So why don't we collaborate? So I offered him my space to conduct his business meeting. He started his business meeting, and I started doing my work, and suddenly, and for my trainer, friend, I thought, okay, let's start a platform where we could provide training. And Khushbu is my friend who is being here, and she was very happily, agreed to be my partner in that. And then we started Maven Magic, which is my second company which came into existence. So we started training to support her. And then the first friend who had this business platform, and then he asked, why don't you start business trainings? And that business actually we started just 1 year ago. And now the company has grown to an extent that we train 100 business owners every month. So last month we did. So I think this wouldn't have been possible if I wouldn't have been in communication with these people, and there wouldn't be a feeling of how we can support each other. So I totally attribute this success to the generosity, not just by myself, but by others also. So benefits in terms of business, it definitely creates a brand value. So when I created Maven Magic, which is the second company, the intention of it is provide life skills through world-class training at a very affordable price. So our prices are always low, and more and more people are doing just because of that. And then employee retention. So we don't have a big employee setup, we have 1 or 2, but even those people, they see us as a home. So they are like, when I go to anywhere, we will come back because this feels like a home. And then it builds a community. So we really have a good, strong community building up for the business, for spirituality, any learning that we do. And even in terms of research also, I have a very small community, but that community is actually inspired to do research, which I think is a success. And then it reduces risk. So if I would have been doing this business alone for my purpose, I think it wouldn't have survived. But because they were friends and family and supporting each other, I think it just totally eliminated the risk of it to be dying or something. So that is definitely there. And generosity brings mental satisfaction, and of course it improves your physical health, so you can do more. So now I manage 2 businesses, which is good. So ways of generosity, it can be in any form. It could be an appreciation, it could be listening to the other person, it could be providing your space, openness and honesty. You can sometimes just be open, and that is also being generous when you are sharing your emotions. And you can be humble and nice, and you can share your knowledge, and allowance for yourself, for other, basically, and allowance for the mistakes also. We can commit mistakes, so we are not perfect. So that can also be generosity. So the conclusion is, let generosity be the context of our business. So when we are doing our business from that aspect, we definitely ensure success for all. And it is not just bring more business, mitigate risk, but it also bring greater health, happiness, and mental satisfaction. So thank you so much for listening.
Ask one question. Yes. Did you make your doctoral thesis about this thing?
No. Yeah, my doctoral thesis about natural hazard and disaster and climate change expert. Because I feel so much about the topic, so I thought when I saw the topic, I want to go and share my.
It was wonderful.
So I've been generous and I've helped myself until here.
No, the irony of being the last speaker, and this is the second time, so I don't have to repeat, that's one thing. And the second thing is I have nothing to say. So what am I going to do? First of all, I want to know that how many of us have been generous here? How many of y'all came on my invitation to this hall? Please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Isn't that a good one? Yes. Wonderful. Okay. So what do you give to these people who are generous?
Because I have to show my generosity, isn't that right? So they get these hand-made, hand-designed, right? And would you remember? You will get it match, right? And yes, it does match. Who came on my invite? Did you come on my invite, ma'am? No. Yes. Who came on my invite? Yes. Who came on my invite? I came on your invite. Yes, please. Yes. These are the girls who have been generous to give their time. Please remember, you can earn anything back, but you can never get back your time. Yes. So they need a very big round of applause. You came and also you're recording, and so is your daughter. Anybody else who came on my invite?
And what if those who were not even invited?
You get my love and affection and much more, okay? Don't worry.
Who was the first person to get inside this hall? Anyone? Priyanka, can you tell who was the first person to get inside the hall? You came? Both of you? Okay, so you were the speaker, but let me tell you, she needs something bigger than that.
So she came for her friend, and she gets
Something bigger.
so she gets a silver chain.
She gets a silver chain exclusively designed by me.
And that is 96.5 purity. So, this is you get it. Okay?
Another one lady deserves something much more. And she is Sue from UK, who spoke on positive attitude drives performance. So, Miss Sue, could you please come here?
You know what she did? You know what she did?
She's awesome. She actually went, I met her outside, and I said, oh my God, I saw this lady somewhere. So yesterday, I was in the Google trying to find out about positive attitude drives performance. And the first thing that came up was WEF 2018 and this cute little face. And I said, are you the same woman? She said, yes. I said, are you talking about the same topic? Because we could not hear that because it wasn't audible. So I requested her before our session could start to repeat what she did. And trust me, she did that for the small little audience. Don't you think she was so generous? She gets a little more higher version of the silver chain designed by me, and she also gets my hug.
Yes. Okay. Now,
This is absolutely right. Yes. Now, there are two more gentle women here who came all the way only because I called them from Madurai. That is Vinita Jain and Sri Lakshmi Mansi. Okay? They will get a very big gift, but that will reach to your doorstep. I promise. Okay? And now, my name is Mamta Fomra. What you can read from here is I'm the designer and creative head at brand Mamta Fomra India. I've been working for the past 23 years. 25 years ago, God told me that, you know what, Mamta, Calcutta is not good for you. Go to Madurai. It's a chota sheher, small city. You deserve only that much. Barren land, you are just a sapling. Go, feed yourself, nurture yourself, grow into a tea tree. One day when you're chopped, that will fetch you a lot. Trust me, I'm not chopped, but I have fetched a lot for myself. What more than having all of you all come at one invitation for me, and the hall is packed? Don't you think I deserve a big round of applause? Be generous to me. Yes. Now, I recently ventured as a jewelry designer 7 years ago, and my export business in jewelry designing tripled, and it's going very well. I deal into 96.5 purity, which is very difficult to be made into these designs. And these are here on display for you to be picked up at 50% off. Okay?
so I keep it here. May I use your chair, please? Yes. Okay. And these are wonderful designs. Who would like to come up first and pick up from this? Anybody who would like to come up first and pick up from this? Please? Yeah? Anybody who would like to pick up from this? Anybody, please? Come, all of you all can join at a time. Please? The prices are not mentioned, but you can just guess. But you can trust me, I'm not going to charge you more. Okay? Please keep it whatever you all want in your hands. Keep it. I trust you all. Please, please keep it. Whatever you all like it.
No, keep it in your hands. All you have to do is pay me when I ask you the price. Okay? Okay. See if these are the same sizes, sweetheart. Okay, see if these sizes fit you. Okay. Do you think? Okay. Is that all done? The only thing we can't be generous today is of time. So we're running out of it. Okay. Absolutely. The only thing is you have to pay me. That's it. Okay. Yes, everything can be done. Don't worry, I'm there. Okay. Have you all picked up what you all wanted? Okay. Have you all picked up what you all wanted? Okay. No offense, don't worry. For those who haven't picked up, don't worry. Done. Are you all done, girls? Perfect. Perfect. How many of you all have picked up anything? How many? Please remember, this is not going to be for free. Okay? Yes, you picked up. Okay. Don't these women deserve a big round of applause for being generous here and supporting here somebody, their own peer? Please, a very big round of applause for them. Okay. Now, anything other than what you read here? Can you remember which city I come from? Oh, girls. Very big round of applause. Will you remember my name, my city, 20 years later? Will you remember my name and city 20 years later? You will. 20 years later, when we are half in Alzheimer's and something here and something there. Okay, difficult to remember. Let's be honest. Okay, right. Will you remember? Could somebody close the door, please? Yes. What will you remember? Okay, today I'm 44. This is the 17th or the 19th, I don't know which Women Economic Forum. At the 50th Women Economic Forum, if we all meet, and in one hall, if somebody's talking, hey, Mamta Fomra, she's come from Madurai. And maybe the lady there in blue, coming from Nigeria. She'll say, Mamta Fomra? I barely remember somebody. Madurai, the temple city? No, I don't remember. Somebody who gave goodies for free. Don't you think so? You remember her? I vaguely remember getting a pouch. Okay, and maybe Miss Sue, when she survived, I'm sure, for 100 years, she'll say, yes, I definitely remember. She gave me a silver chain. Okay? And then the rest of them will remember for giving me something for 50% off. So when we say people have short memories, are we right? Are we right? No, we aren't right. It depends on how we create that memories, how we make that memories. And trust me, girls, you don't make memories in a day or a two. There is no strategic planning that makes it work. What it makes it work is when you work from within. When your mind is at a state of what? Static. And when your heart is playing, when your heart is overplaying your mind, that's when you are getting generous. That's when you are yourself. That's when you are the true human being. Trust me, memories are not short-lived. When you are generous, you're likely to impact people for a lifetime because you touch from them to the bottom of their hearts. Now, for the people who received today will definitely remember me. What about for the people who did not receive anything today? Okay? They will also remember me. That was a good one. And I will tell you one short story, which is quite right. The most handsome man, do you know? 10 years ago, who was told the most handsome man? He is the actor in Hollywood, George Clooney. Perfect. George Clooney did? He one day called his 5 most best friends, top of the priority list, okay? So when I call my 5, I will call 5 in the order, leaving the 6th one. He called his 5 most best friends, and what did you know? He kept 1 million in each suitcase, okay? And gave them as gifts. That's the kind of generosity he had. Why? Because he's achieved so much, and somewhere down the line, he wanted to give it to the people who were alongside with him. They were not employees, they were friends, but he gave that. But you know what? 5 of them remember very well, but the 6th one is still crying today. Why was I 6th in the list? So, generosity does impact us in every little and small and big ways. How we touch their lives, what we do, is just a small matter of thought. But be genuine in whatever you do. Do not do any strategic planning. You know what? All these workings do not work. Work it from the bottom of your heart. Trust me, that will work forever. This is my simple mantra of being generous. If at the age of 44, I started my journey 23 years ago, and today I'm 44. And my brand, Mamta Formula, is doing pretty well, and I can say I'm the queen of the place where I live. And it is the place very small. It is a small village where I started from. But today where I am, because I started with my heart, and I'm still working with my heart. And trust me, when you start from the beginning, you work with your heart, but then later on your mind starts playing because you're calculated. The money plays, the turnover plays, but be genuine from the time you started. Be the baby by your mind and by your heart. Thank you very much for being generous to me. Love you all. For those who did not get the gifts, trust me, next time I will come with a bigger bag of goodies. Yes. And for those who got the goodies, please come back to me and ask me the price, and you're free to take it or leave it. Thank you very much.
Do I deserve a big round of applause?